So the top 5 tips for interviewing. Okay, so number 1 is confident that they are going to learn more at the job that they're applying to. So no matter what kind of job that you're applying to, you do not know 100% of what you're going to be doing. So a lot of employers like the fact that you are confident with whatever experience that you have, and that you know that whatever training they're going to give you, you're going to take it and make it even way better. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is an example of, if they can give an example of how they have been competitive in the past. So you know there's a lot of different types of company cultures. There's people who are a little bit more cutthroat, people a little bit more relaxed in the company culture. But no matter what, employers like the fact that their employees can be competitive. Because when you're competitive, it means that you can push yourself and you can push the other people within the company. So if you're able to have an example of whether it be through sports, whether it be through cooking, a kind of tournament that you've been in, another kind of office culture where you really had to push somebody else but in a good way, employers love to see that because that means that you can push yourself and the people around you. Point number 3 is that they show that they're honest and authentic with their past experiences. So any kind of person applying, especially those candidates within an entry-level position, are not going to go into a job interview and say that I already provided this amount of profit for a company, or I developed this kind of application, or I actually did this and that. What they're going to say is that they have worked, let's say, at their schools, or they actually worked at their sister's daycare, or they actually did something that they think is small. Whatever experience somebody has, it's not small. So that's kind of really the biggest things that gets in people's ways, is that they think that whatever experience they have is really not worth it. It's not really good enough. Meanwhile, that's not really true at all. Whatever kind of experience they had, even if they actually tutored little kids or they worked with their brother, it actually pushes them forward in terms of experience, let's say dealing with people or problem solving, or actually dealing with anything else, you know, in terms of like dealing with how to run an office. So it gives them some kind of experience. What they need to do is be honest and be okay with knowing they don't have a ton of experience, but use point number 1 where they're confident and they know that they're going to gain more experience with the opportunity that they're asking for. Okay, so point number 4 are classic mannerisms, just like that what you hear all the time in books and video. So it's things like having a proper kind of handshake. So the kind of handshake that you need to have is you need to grab the other person's hand by right here, this point of their hand, lock hands, and the amount of pressure that you apply is going to be a little bit more than the pressure that they are giving you, okay? So if they're a little bit tough, you're just a little bit tougher. If there's somebody who's one of those people that's just really hard handshake, you have to be just a little bit stronger than them. If they give you something that's pretty soft, all you're gonna do is just give them something a little bit softer than them. That's how you have a proper handshake, okay? That's one part of the mannerisms. Another really famous mannerism, really well known, is of course eye contact. So in most cultures, it's actually very beneficial that you have proper eye contact, because what that means is that you're confident within what you're saying and you build trust also. So if you're actually meeting somebody and you're actually looking down, and if you're talking, it kind of gives off the idea that you are not super confident within whatever you're saying. But even if you have no experience, if you don't know what you're saying, and if you have a proper handshake and you have eye contact, that means that you're trying to present something to them. And what you're trying to present is yourself. Very important. So point number 5 is how someone would display or show that they have a proper student mentality. So any person who would join a company, let's say if they're entry level or a higher type position, that if they can display, or if they have just a better student mentality than everybody else, they're going to learn what they need to do to get ahead way faster than everybody else. Essentially, if they just outwork everybody else, but they have the better kind of student mentality, they would be able to surpass the people who are just complacent, who have been there for a few months or a few years. And that's why several people actually surpass other people in several different types of industries. It's just because those people have more work ethic and better student mentality. So student mentality, sure, is how you were better in terms of school, or how you were, let's say, not good at something, and you actually did whatever you needed to do to get good at it. That's actually some of the best examples that you can give of how you had a hardship about yourself, personal or business-wise, or dealing with family or friends, and how you really got over it and how you made yourself a better person. That really equates towards what you would do in terms of your business life. And so that's point number 5.